Welcome to our first volume of one of our new recurring series, which actually has come up with the cutest name for Little Terrors.
That's what I call my baby sometimes. And my dog. Anyway, yes, these episodes are going to be bite-sized, focusing on a hyper-specific topic. So a single TV episode, maybe a Halloween or horror-themed mini discussion. We're not really sure, but they're going to be cute little bite-sized episodes.
And for today, our first Little Terror, we're going to be discussing the slasher-themed episode of Boy Meets World. Iconic episode called
So iconic.
Then There Was Shawn.
Everybody who knows Boy Meets World knows about this episode. Like, I can't
so
think
good.
of one person who, if you brought this up, they wouldn't have a memory of it. It's so good. It's so much fun. So if you are watching along and want to watch it first or watch it after we talk about it, just to refresh your memory, because I'm sure you've seen it if you're listening to this podcast, it is season 5, episode 17. All episodes of Boy Meets World, I believe, are only streaming on Disney Plus. I think it's one of those annoying things that's like only on Disney Plus.
That's where I watched it.
Yeah. I think that's the only place right now, unless you own the DVD set, in which case, respect. So, background on this episode aired February 27th, 1998. Is rated a whopping 9.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Solid.
Merited. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the description from IMDb. The gang finds themselves locked in the school all alone during detention. That's it. That's all it said. I mean, but yeah.
Awesome.
So many people consider this the best episode of the show, the entire show, their favorite episode. I'd have to agree. This is the only episode that I really remember. I remember a few times. I remember like Corey cheating on Topanga because we were all like, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, that was so
What?
terrible.
And this actually happened soon after. I didn't realize because they're broken up in this episode.
Yeah.
So
That's like, this episode is not only amazing for the horror references, but it's also kind of emotional.
Yeah, it is. It is the ending, which you're trying to go there.
I know. I always want to go to the ending.
You're like, okay, so let's just talk about the ending, and then we can be done. We can be done with the episode. But it's true. I mean, this episode, I just literally, I remember watching it for the first time. I remember where I was. I remember the impact it had on me. Like, obviously, I'm a little horror nerd, and it's always been there. But it was at my grandma's house. At my grandma's house, the rules were always a lot looser about when I could watch TV and when I could watch. So, of course, I'm like, Boy Meets World, can stay up late. It probably was on at like, I don't know, 8 p.m. or something. Maybe a school night, though.
It was
I
on
don't remember.
like TGIF, right?
Oh,
Isn't that when Boy Meets World aired?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember watching it, and I just remember thinking it was so scary. And just really good. Obviously, it was a rerun because I was not watching this in 1998. This was, I don't know, it's got to be
Yeah, we were
middle school,
we were a little
high
young for
school.
that. Yeah.
That was too soon, but still could have definitely been on TGIF, which I loved. I mean, those
I
were the
also like,
days.
very much have this memory of us like growing up with the Boy Meets World characters, and we definitely didn't. Like,
That's so true.
they were in high school airing in 1998 when the day this episode aired, you were not even 8 years old.
But that, I think the age that they were is how kids like to consume content because they like to consume older. So they grew up with us in the way that they were what we were aspiring to be. So I feel like
true.
they did lead us through our childhood. We were like, oh, this is what's coming in high school. Oh, this is what's coming in college. And it wasn't true. But
Oh, but like, thank
never
God in a
found
lot
my
of
Corey in
ways.
high school. Yeah, no, seriously. I actually obviously had a crush on Sean. not
Topanga
Corey.
could have done better. Yeah, obviously, actually.
I know.
And you know what? Like, I stand by that. So many of like the used to like Legolas, now like Aragorn.
Yes.
No way, man. Sean all the way, start to finish.
All the way. Yeah. And he's interesting. Now, I will say now, Sean still, yes, 100%. Eric, I'm now like kind of into.
You can see it.
I just love his sense of humor. I don't know.
He's goofy, and he's like, I think, the kindest one.
He's sweet. He's great.
Yeah.
I love Eric. Do you have any memories of watching this show?
I similarly remember this episode. I remember some like noir episode they did also.
Oh, I probably
That was
didn't
like a
like that.
special
Sounds like something I wouldn't
episode.
like, where they went back in time or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. And then mostly I
Okay.
remember, obviously, Corey cheating on Topanga. And
Hmm.
then I remember like them being married in college and being like
Yeah.
awful. Like how like I just remember
A bad apartment. Yeah.
like and like the being disappointed that they were married, or like that's probably
Yeah.
me placing my current feelings back on that. I'm sure I wasn't aware of how terrible an idea that was. So anyway, mostly it's just like negative stuff that I remember now.
Oh, lovely. That's
But I
fair though.
remember really liking it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
loved Boy Meets World. I remember
Right.
bawling my eyes out at the series finale.
Really?
Oh
Oh,
my God, the
that's
last
cute.
scene.
I don't remember it. I didn't,
They
it didn't affect
all
me.
go back to see Mr.
Oh,
Feeney,
yeah. Oh,
and
and I
they
got
all leave.
chills
He says
now.
class dismissed to an empty
Dismissed.
classroom. Oh, I'm gonna cry right now.
Oh gosh, you know I'm not emotionally equipped for this right now. Okay, well I'm gonna bring us back because
Yes.
the one thing I remember vividly from the episode that we're discussing is the pencil through the forehead. Because for this little PG, I think maybe it's PG, no, TV 14. I looked it up, TV 14 rating. Obviously no blood, but like that was so brutal. I
I
remember
know.
being
It's a giant
pencil through Kenny, and then they made a South Park reference. Like, what is going
They
on?
made at least two South Park references in this episode, which I was like, I guess that was what people did back
I
then.
guess, yeah, I don't know. But aside from that, this movie, the reason why it's so great is because it just was oozing with horror tropes and references to the 90s slasher genre that was happening. This is like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream time. So like the best years of our lives. Okay, we just didn't know it
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
So we have jump scares. We have this fun carnival-esque music. We've got the creepy janitor who they even went as far as to name Freddy.
It was
Okay.
not a subtle episode.
We've got the Feeney kill. Feeney is killed off with scissors in the back. We've got the Shawn as the horror expert, and he's leading us through all the tropes with all
It
these
was
really funny names.
It was so perfect.
So great. Angela with her constant screaming, and then when the Jennifer Love Hewitt character comes on and she screams, then Angela like looks at her and she's like, "That's my thing." I love that part.
It's
And then
good.
we've got the masked killer. So good. It's got it all.
Really, and like in a 22-minute episode.
So much is packed in. I could not believe how short this was. I was like, is this really what it was like without commercials? It's
Yeah.
so quick. It's so quick. I really need to know how you felt about the very heavy-handed virgin discussion that happened in this
I
episode.
did not remember Boy Meets World covering topics like that so straightforwardly. I was
Yes.
very surprised.
I was taken aback. Like you know that you like a lot of things just go over your head as a
Yeah.
kid, or like the degree to which, but they're just having like a very blatant conversation about which of these high schoolers have had sex or not. Which when you think of like high school shows like Riverdale or like Gossip Girl where they're just like hypersexual. Okay, so this
Yeah.
doesn't seem that bad. But still looking back, I was like, okay. So we're just, and
This
they're
is
also
like
like
a family-friendly show.
very much so. And then they're like high-fiving about like Feeney having sex and like because he's dead. And Feeney's like
He's
old. Like, did they think he was a
He's been married for decades.
They thought he was like an 80-year-old virgin. Oh my God, that was so weird. Yeah, so do you think that this episode, like, I don't even know if it was TV 14. It might have been TV PG. That's actually what I have in the notes. Like, was this too much? Was this too scary? Aside from the overt sex references.
I was about to say, apparently, like, nothing's too much for Boy Meets
Right?
World.
And then we get to the Jennifer Love Hewitt, who they call for whatever reason Jennifer Love Pfefferman or Pfeffy. And Eric in such a weird, creepy way.
Oh,
The
I
only
didn't
reason
like this
why,
part.
yeah, the only reason why it's not fully cancelable is because she seems like into it, I guess. And they were
Yeah.
dating at the time, so I think they just like
As a
that, like
reminder to our
people
listeners about
knew.
what happened, she
Yeah.
showed up, she's hot, Eric walks over and starts making
But
out with
making out
her.
with her and then like kissing her neck, it's just like really
Yeah. It's pretty gross.
yucky. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this did not age well and is like a terrible message. I mean, I'll take
Yeah.
the like weird virgin discussion any day over this like icky, I don't know. Yeah, not great. Not great. But anyway, they were
Mhm.
dating at the
The
time, which I think
90s.
is why they put this in and why this happened. And I think it
Oh.
was known that they were dating, so I think that's why I'm saying it makes it a little less
Okay.
creepy
All
because
right.
everyone's
So
just
it's
like,
just
oh,
like
they're
alluding
dating.
to that.
I
Okay.
think so. I think so. Um, and that brought me down a rabbit hole because, like, why not? Why not jump down every rabbit hole that comes across your desk? And I looked up Jennifer Love Hewitt's dating history because I was like, oh, that's an interesting person that she she was dating,
Oh.
and she has dated so many people. This is just a sampling, okay?
Okay.
Carson Daly, John Mayer, Wilmer Valderrama, Rich Cronin, who's the lead singer of LFO, formerly, I'm guessing. He's not dead, I don't think, but LFO, I'm
Yeah.
sure is. Anyway, Enrique Iglesias, Patrick Wilson of the Conjuring universe, right? Jamie
Wow.
Kennedy, who is Randy from Scream. Like, girl does not have a type, I don't think.
Yeah. That is all over the board.
Right? Yeah, and I think she is now married. But wow, she just like went down like Hollywood and was like, "Yeah, I'll give you a shot."
Yeah.
All
You
these
know,
lucky
this was
bastards.
also like back in the day of like getting publicity by dating people too.
Yeah,
And like you might just like go to one award show or like go out on one date just to get your picture taken.
that's true.
Like
That's
that
true.
was like a
I didn't
big
look
part
up
of
how
your
long they
public
dated.
image. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was, yeah, a teenage heartthrob. I was trying to see, I was like, was
Yeah.
she ever in anything that was good? And like, I don't think so.
She's
So
in a
maybe
very
this
good
was
episode of Law and Order SVU.
okay. Sure, that's yeah. Okay, Sarah. Yeah, that's great. But you're right. I think her whole thing was that like she, despite not being in, she was in a lot, but like nothing huge or nothing
Yeah.
like tremendous.
I
But
mean,
she
like
just is
she
so
had her
iconic.
own show for years though, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
Ghost Whisperer or
Yes. Which
something.
I think someone said they referenced. So it might, maybe it was going on. I thought people said that there were Ghost Whisperer references in this, and I was like, that feels like it happened later, but maybe it was
Yeah, that
going on.
definitely happened later.
That's what I thought, but
Okay.
I swear Reddit
Huh.
told me that.
Huh.
Anyway, well, Reddit is obviously 100% accurate, so. Okay, so back to the episode. Characters are killed off one by one. And then we find out in the end, the killer, which is in the title, is Shawn. Okay, and we also find out, of course, that this was just a dream. And then Shawn, of course, asks for a life lesson from Mr. Feeney, and Mr. Feeney is like, you are just really mad. You're really mad. You're really sad because the only thing that you could count on was Corey and Topanga, and they broke up, and now you think that you can't count on anything. 'Cause I don't get though that he's like pulls off his killer mask and like puts their hands together or
I
something.
know.
So takes a really cheesy turn. But give me your thoughts on the ending.
It's I mean, we weren't going to get anything that different from a Boy Meets World episode, right? Like, it
No,
was
they
like,
can't all be
anyone
dead.
was actually dead.
Right, unfortunately.
And so, like, I mean, the fact that it was more than just like, oh, it's just a dream, haha. I mean, like, this explanation actually makes me really sad because Sean's
Oh,
story is really sad. He doesn't
I
have any
know.
stability in life. Like, that's kind of his whole thing. And the fact that he has had to, like, put that on his two best friends is really upsetting.
Yeah, you're right. It does get like very heavy. Very heavy. So it went from just being like fun little slasher to Sean's life is kind of sad, but you know, they figured it out. He moves on, he rallies, right? He ends up in a
He
good
does.
place. Doesn't he?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
He's in the final scene with everybody. I don't know what happens. Him and Angela
Me
get
neither.
together.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's what
I
happens.
like Angela.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
She's
great.
fun. They're a good match.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I haven't watched the show in 10 years. I could rewatch
I mean,
it and be like, everyone's toxic.
Wait. I did watch like the first season of Girl Meets World when that was on, and Sean came back and he was like a successful something or other. He's doing great.
Perfect.
Sean
Probably
turned
wearing
out
a leather
great.
jacket and like has a nice haircut, of course.
Yeah. He was 100% wearing a leather jacket, yes. And his hair is still great. Yes.
Of course. Oh, love it. Love it. All right. Any other thoughts?
Delightful. I loved the chance to revisit Boy Meets World, and I just love the references. I thought they did a really good job. All in all.
So fun.
Yes.
And the pencil scene held up for me. That was still gruesome and
I don't think
hysterical.
we've explained to the listeners, just to like refresh your memory, this random character who's like
Kenny.
an instigator of all of them being in detention, except not really. The poor man asked Topanga for a pencil. Kenny gets a giant pencil shoved through his forehead. And the best, this is actually my favorite part of the whole episode. They find his body like that. He's standing up against the wall with a pencil shoved through his forehead. And as his body crumples to the ground, the pencil draws on the wall behind.
Yeah. And then Corey points to it and he's like, we'll always know he was this tall. So good. I also really love the part, now that we're backtracking, when they are locked, they think they're locked in detention, or they are locked in, and they're trying to like get help, and they know that the door is opening, and they think it's the killer or something bad is happening, and the door opens, and it's just Eric and what's Sean's brother's name? I can't think of it right now.
Not a clue.
Oh, Sean's brother.
One of the Lawrence brothers.
Yes,
The actor.
And then, I don't know, Eric just says something like, howdy ho.
Yes. Which is the other South Park reference.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Weird. See, I
I'm
just thought it
pretty
was funny just
sure.
on its own.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch South Park. Well,
I've been
stuff.
seeing these like Instagram posts recently that are like, do you remember before memes when guys would just like sit around in circles and quote Anchorman to each other, and like that's what you did for entertainment? And I feel like South Park was the same thing. Like that was
our high
that was
school.
it.
Yeah, it was South Park, Anchorman, and the Boondock Saints. Just so many references.
We were referencing the Boondock Saints. We were also
I was like,
doing
wait,
that.
is the circle us? Yeah.
These are
Who knows?
they're all
Not
great
South Park.
things.
Boy
But
Meets
anyway,
World.
I like at first was like, this is really random. They keep referencing South Park, and then I thought, no, I guess it's just kind of
just
what
how they made us laugh, I guess.
high school boys did in
Yeah.
1998.
That's very true. Very
Yeah.
topical.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's all we got.
Our first little terror, and
It
it
was
was
fun.
little.
It was little. It's good. It's supposed to be little.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are we going to talk about next week?
Tara, next week we are doing a hard right turn right back into 90s slasher land, and we will be talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. And for the paranormal segment, I will be sharing our first haunted lighthouse story. See you there. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. It's just going to be our thing, I guess. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Haunted Homebodies. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
And remember, when in doubt, just stay home.